Some of the things we covered tonight in our Kabbalah class, learning the works of the Ari HaKadosh, is the formation of the world. The Ari HaKadosh explained that in truth, by the 17th of Elul, that's when Keser Chachma and Bina were formed. Keser Chachma and Bina of Olam HaNekudim. Olam HaNekudim is Olam HaTohu. And that was Shabbos. So on Shabbos, which was the 17th, that's when Gar, the Gimel Rishonos, was created. And then, after that, from Yom Rishon and onwards, we have the 18th, the 19th, the 20th, the 21st, the 22nd, the 23rd, the 24th. For 7 days, you have the formation of premortal days, or Zayin Yamim of Tohu. And these are the 7 Malachim of Tohu. Vayimloich Vayamas. Right? And these are called from the Zayin Malachim Demisu. When you look in the Torah, in Chumash Bereshis, you have the list of the Malchei Canaan. And these are the Malchei Canaan that go according to the Shviras HaKelim. So first you have Das, and the king that the Torah describes as Bela ben Bor Midin Hava. Bela ben Bor Midin Hava. The Ari HaKadosh explained Midin Hava, that's when the beginning of Din was shown through the Shviras HaKelim. And then Chesed is Yovav ben Zerach. The union of Zerach is Chesed, is Chsadim, is the union of shining. And then you have Chusham Eretz HaTeimani, Chusham from the land of Teiman, that's the Oseis Chama, a heated area, a very sunny area from Teiman, and that is Keneged Gevura. Hadad ben Badad is Keneged Midas HaTiferes, that's the chest area, where is the Makom of the Dadim. And then we have Netzach and Hoid, which is considered one. That is Keneged Samla Mimasreka. And then Yesod is Shom Rechoves Anar, where the union of Yesod is that it's a gathering of all the Oros in Shomayim, and that's Rechoves Anar. That's a widening of the river, so to speak. And then we have Malchos, which is Hanan ben Achbar. And those are the Shiva Malachim that busted, and the Kalim shattered all throughout the Olamos, all throughout the realms of existence. And according to the Ari HaKadosh, these 7 Malachim are followed by a new king. Lifnei Melech Melech Lebnei Israel. Before there was a king of Israel. What is this king of Israel? That's in Kabbalah, the union of Shema. The union of Shema is what brings about Tikkun, right? So, and this Tikkun brings about Olam HaAtzilus. Many might not realize, but Olam HaTohu, or Olam HaNekudim, is really redone and renewed and created into Olam HaAtzilus. Olam HaNekudim becomes Olam HaAtzilus. Olam HaTohu becomes Olam HaTikkun. And going back to our story, so we said that from the 17th of Elul, you had Chabad of Olam HaNekudim, and that was the first Shabbos. And then on Sunday, you had the Shiva Malachim that are created, all the way till the next Shabbos. The next Shabbos, you have the last king, right? And you also have the new Gar, the new Chabad, the new Mochen. The new Mochen, which is ready to create Olam HaTikkun, right? So on the 24th, on Chav Daled Elul, you have the last Melech, which busts the last Shviras HaKelim, the Shvira of the Kli of Malchus, and Ubay B'Yayim, and on that very day, you have the creation of Gar. You have the creation of the Gimel Rishonos, a new Gimel Rishonos, a new Chabad, a new set of Mochen for Olam HaTikkun. All that took place on Chaf Daled Elul. And Ulo Macharasai. And right after Chaf Dalet Elul, you have Chaf Hey. And Chaf Hey, Elul is the beginning of creation, even in our world, right? And that begins Olam HaTikun, where the first day is Keneged Chesed, then Gvura, then Tiferes, then Netzach. Netzach is the fourth day of the creation, right? Hod and Yesod, and then you have Malchus again, right? So you have the 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, and then Rosh Hashanah, the sixth day of creation in our world, which is the Bria of Adam HaRishon. But interestingly enough, you'll find that when we look at the days of creation, we find that the sun and the moon, which represents time and special days and special occasions, that's only from the fourth day. Because why? The fourth day corresponds to Netzach. Netzach, and then Hod, and then Yesod. Nihi. So from the fourth day of creation, you have the formulation of Zmanim. Whereas the earlier days of creation, you do not have the formation of Zmanim. The Ari HaKodesh explained that this is a very deep secret. And this is brought out by the Rashash, Zichrona Livracha. The Rashash explained that there's something called parts of Hayamim and parts of Hazmanim. Take a look at the chart over here. The chart describes how parts of Hayamim is the weekdays. And the weekdays is Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, and Yesod. But according to the Rashash, the parts of Chagas, which represents Chesed, Gvura, and Tiferes, is much more than Chesed, Gvura, and Tiferes. The parts of Chagas rightly has Chabad, Chagas, and Nehi. And similarly, the parts of Nehi also has Chabad, Chagas, and Nehi. The difference is that the Chabad is missing from the parts of Chagas, and the Chabad is missing from the parts of Nehi. And it's our job to draw down Mochin, to draw down Chabad to the parts of Chagas, to the parts of Nehi. You might be accustomed of hearing Chabad, Chagas, and Nehi as just part of one group. But the Rashash understood it very differently. The Rashash understood that Chabad is a part of in itself. Chagas is a part of in itself. Nehi is a part of in itself. And Chabad, Chagas, and Nehi all include Chabad, Chagas, and Nehi. So there's Chabad, Chagas, and Nehi of Chabad, Chabad, Chagas, and Nehi of Chagas, and Chabad, Chagas, Nehi of Nehi. And so what is missing? What is missing from Chagas and Nehi is Chabad. So when we look at these two partsufim of Chagas, we say that there's Chagas and Nehi of Chagas, and Chagas and Nehi of Nehi. And the Ari HaKodesh explains, says the Rashash, that parts of Hayamim is what is called Chagas of Chagas and Nehi of Chagas. So that would be Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, and Yesod of Chagas. That formulates essentially the weekdays and Shabbos. All right? Shabbos and the weekdays are all part of parts of Hayamim. And that's what the Rashash calls parts of Hayamim. Whereas parts of Hazmanim is the Moyadim, the Yamim Tovim. And the Yamim Tovim also are represented as Chagas and Nehi, but of Nehi. And what are the Moyadim? The Moyadim are Pesach, Omer, and Shavuos for Chesed, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot for Gevura. Binyan Malchus is from the Gevuras, if you recall. And then we have Tiferes is Keneged Shavuos, Netzach is Purim, Hoid is Chanukah, and Tu B'Shvat and Tu B'Av is Keneged Yesod. So those days are called parts of Hazmanim, and that only begins when the Me'ores are formed from the fourth day of the week. And because of this, the Rashash understood from the Arizal that when we daven and when we do mitzvahs on Yamim Tovim, we're drawing down light from what is called parts of Hazmanim, Chagas and Nehi of Nehi. And what are we doing? We're drawing down Mochen to parts of Hazmanim. We're drawing down Chabad to Nehi, so that Nehi can become Chabad, Chagas, and Nehi, so that the parts of Nehi has Mochen. But when you do Torah and mitzvahs during the weekday, and you daven during the weekday, you're drawing down Chabad to the parts of Chagas, so that Chagas can be Chabad, Chagas, and Nehi. And so that's what the Arizal understood and explained about the days of the Bria, much different than what we might be used to. But again, the Bria begins, Al Pi Kabbalah, by the 17th, and that's the first Shabbos, and then that's the Zayim Malachim Demisu till the second Shabbos, where the Chabad of Tikkun is formed, and then the 7 days of the week. The Me'ores are created from the fourth day of the week, from Netzach, and then we have the Bria of Adam Arishain on the 6th day of the creation. One interesting minhag of Mikubalim is to read the Torah where it describes the Zayin Malachim Demisu, the 7 kings, which relate to the Shviras HaKelim, to read the Parshias of Shviras HaKelim by Chavdalad Elul. And then from Chafhei Elul to read every day the days of Tikkun, every day, each day in its day. Mekubalim have this minhag. So again, on the 24th, to read the whole parsha of the Malachim of Edom, right, which are the Shviras HaKelim. So then on Chafhei Elul, the next day you begin to read the Tikkun, each day corresponding to the Yemei Bria, from the beginning of Bereshis ad until Vayichulu Hashomayim, and that is the minhag of Mekubalim. Now that we've clarified the concept of parts of Hayomim and parts of Hazmanim, according to the Ari HaKadosh explained by the Rashash, we now need to cover over another topic, which is, by the Mekubalim, it was very important that when a Yom Tov comes, which is in the category of parts of Hazmanim, the kavanas are only on the zmanim. The kavanas are only focused on the zmanim. So, for example, when it is time for Pesach, the kavana is only on the kavanas of Pesach. The Rashash explains that the Mekubalim are not mechavein any other kavanas except for the kavanas of Pesach. Although some European Mekubalim, which have their influence from other Sidurim, have it a little bit different. But when it comes down to the Yeshiva Mekubalim and the Rashash, how he explained the Ari HaKadosh, when a Yom Tov comes, a Yom Tov is in a different parts of, it's in parts of Hazmanim. And since it's in parts of Hazmanim, at that time you're not mechavin any kavana except for the kavana of the Zman. So Pesach time comes, you're only mechavin the kavanas of Pesach. And the kavanas of Pesach goes all the way through the davening, through the Seder, and even all throughout Sfiras HaOmer, all the way up until Shavuos. The Mekubalim that are strict with the Rashash are not mechavein any kavana except for the kavanas of Pesach. Similarly, when it is time for Rosh Hashanah, till Shmini Atzeres is Binyan HaMalchus, the building up of the parts of Malchus, Nukva, or Rachel. And at this time, there's a multitude of kavana which goes in through Rosh Hashanah, the first day, the second day, and Aser Shimei Tshuva, and Erev Yom Kippur, and all the way through till Shmini Atzeres. And at that time, no other kavanas are done with regards to tefillos. Because when it comes to tefillos, if there's parts of Hazmanim, which is Nihi and Chagas of Nihi, you're not mechavein Nihi and Chagas of Chagas. So that is the meaning of the Mekubalim. Now, the question is, what happens when it's a holiday? Is there no kavana at all for the parts of Hayamim? What happens to the parts of Hayamim, right? Obviously, when there's a hashpa lamata, or even as things are, there's nihi and then there's chagas. So the answer to that, by many, the Rashash, and as explained by Reb Salim and Eliyahu, and many others, you have to be mechavein for both of them. There is no such thing as days without times. Every time, every mayed is within a date on the calendar, within one of the days of the week. So there's no such thing as parts of Hayamim without parts of Hazmanim. But when a Zman comes, we're mechavein dafke on the Zman and not on the Yamim. And so how does this work? The Sefer Shemin Sasain explains that even though you're mechavein both parts of Hazmanim and parts of Hayamim, you're not mechavein particularly parts of Hayamim, because the parts of Hayamim, the kavanas that are for the weekday, happen automatically. The kavanas for the weekday happen automatically. The only kavanas that we have for the chagim is the chagim. When the chagim come, we're not mechavein the kavanas of the weekday. And what happens to it? It's naaseh mimela. You have in mind that the kavanas of the weekday go automatically, but you're not mechavein them. Sfarim explained that if you're mechavein the kavanas of the weekday on the Yamim Tovim, there's a chash of achizas haklipa, or as they call it, Kelly. All right. So because of this, parts of Hazmanim, you're mechavein parts of Hazmanim. Parts of Hayamim, you're mechavein parts of Hayamim during the week, which is all throughout the week. And then Shabbos, you lift up everything that you did all the way till Mincha time, until the Yud Tikuni Adikna, as we spoke about some other times. And there you have it, the difference between parts of Hayamim, parts of Hazmanim, and Brias HaOlamos. And Kavanis Atfila, that when you have parts of Hazmanim, you don't do parts of Hayamim. When you have parts of Hayamim, you're not mechavein to parts of Hazmanim.